Really quick, I'm going to explain how a sapling deck works. What you have are fungus creatures that will gain fungus counters. Usually you'll use plenty of dice while you're playing one of these decks, just so you can keep track of how many spur counters are on there. Most saplings, not all of them, have most fungus creatures have you get 3 Saproling counters, and you put a 1/1 Saproling out there. Not all of them have that, but most of them do. Alright, now let's look at our creatures. What I have is my cheapest creatures to my most expensive creatures, and same thing with spells and stuff like that. Alrighty, let's take a look. Alright, what we got here right now is a Thallid. I have 3 of these in my decks. They're really great turn 1 creatures for a Saproling deck. Basically, like I said, you put 3 spore counters on it, you take it off, it doesn't cost anything, and you put a 1/1 green sapling out. Next to it, we got a Spore Flower. This is one of the exceptions to the whole sapling rule. The Spore Flower, you put 3 fungus counters on her, take those fungus counters off for free, and it soaks all damage that creatures do. So I use her a lot. I have 4 of her in there. But basically, you put her out there early on in the game and just keep putting spore counters on her. And if you're playing against a creature heavy deck, you just take them off when they attack you, and basically buys time to put more saplings out. Next to her, we have the Thallid Shell-Dweller. It's a 1/5. It's a pretty fantastic card for turn 2. Basically, you just keep that there, block what you need to block, and throw a sapling out every 3 turns. Thorn Thallid, he is a 2/2. He has take off 3 spore counters, and do 1 damage to pretty much anything you want. So any player or creature, or pretty much anything. And it's a really good card if like you have an annoying like 2/2 flyer. Just take off 3 counters and it kicks ass. Right here we have the Sporesower Thallid. He let's see, at the beginning of your upkeep you put a spore counter on all of your Thallids, or all funguses you control. So basically you put an extra fungus spore counter out there. He's really great for 4 because basically with him and her, you're not going to take any damage from creatures. It's really great, and you can just keep throwing saplings out there really fast. So he's good to have. He's not necessary, but I mean he totally helps out with all your other funguses. Sporloth Ancient. He has, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Sporloth Ancient. Then creatures you control, so all creatures that you have, remove 2 spore counters from the creature, put a 1/1 green sapling. So that makes saplings like 1 spore counter cheaper, which is really awesome. And he's a 4/4, and that's always good. The strongest like fungus I have is 4/4. Mycoloth, my personal favorite. I wish I could show you this card, but basically what Mycoloth does is that you sacrifice saplings, it doubles however many saplings you sacrificed and puts it as 1/1 counters, and then for every 1/1 counter on that on Mycoloth, for every turn he basically throws up like that many 1/1 green saplings. So basically you sacrifice 5 saplings, it becomes 10, and then he throws up 10 saplings at the beginning of your upkeep every turn. Mycoloth's just awesome. I absolutely love him. There is a combo in here that really kicks ass, but we'll wait for that. Verdant Force, he, at the beginning of every upkeep, he's actually not a fungus. He is a elemental. and he's really good elemental. But anyways, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, so if you're playing like 4-on-4, or I mean 4-person free-for-all, you basically get 4 Saprolings by the time it becomes your turn. So really good card, really like him. He's really expensive though. He's 8 mana, which is crazy. Over here we got my instant spells, like just Naturalize, an old Naturalize card. I have 4 of these in here just in case you're playing against like our artifact heavy deck, so you know, somebody throws Platinum Angel on there and you're like, hell no. Rapid Vigor, you regenerate all creatures you control, which is awesome because let's say I'm attacking with a bunch of 1/1 Saprolings, and they'd pretty much a majority of them would die, but I'd still get the attack. You just wrap them in Vigor and they come back. They're still alive. I have 3 of these in here. I never seem to draw them though when I need them, but whatever. Sprout Swarm. Basically it costs 2. You can put a 1/1 green Saproling. It has Convoke. You can lessen the cost by 1 for every creature you tap, which is great. And then there's a buyback on here for 3. You buy it back, and like I said, you tap whatever, and basically you could make it cost 1 pretty much, and that would be awesome. Flash Foliage, you put a 1/1 green Saproling out, blocking whatever creature you want. So say there's an annoying flying creature, you can block it in the air. I have nothing to really block against flying creatures in this deck, but it works. Alright, now we're going over to the one Planeswalker I have in here. Good old Garruk. If you don't know who Garruk is, or a Planeswalker, basically they have something ridiculous that they can do, and it takes a couple turns, but it kicks ass. I won't go into that. We'll probably make a Planeswalker video later. Alright, now we're going over to the artifacts. I got Gorgon Flail. I seem to draw this all the time, even though there's only 1 in here. And creature gets +1/+1 and has Death Touch. So, you know, it's good to have. You know, if you have it on a Saproling, it's pretty awesome. Only costs 2 to equip, 2 to put out. Alright, my other artifact is Coat of Arms. This is a really old Coat of Arms card. Basically, you get a +1/+1 for each other creature type with the same type on there. So say I have 40 Saprolings out there. All of them are 40/40. So, good card. Usually, that's pretty much the big combo in here. That's what I'm hoping to draw. So, I'm pretty much invincible. Alright, now we will go over to our enchantments. We have Verdant Embrace, which is basically Verdant Force, except you can put it on whatever creature you want at the beginning of each upkeep. Oh, and the creature also gets +3/+3. So basically, that's even more Saprolings you'd ever want. And then the most expensive card in here is Doubling Season. What it does is that if an effect would put any like tokens out onto play, you double that. If an effect would put any counters out into play, you double that. So basically what I'm hoping to get is a Doubling Season and a Mycoloth, and then I can sacrifice 5 Saprolings, and then his Devour 2 makes it into 10. But since I have Doubling Seasons now, it would make it into 20. And then the next turn, I'd be able to put out my tokens, and I'd get 40. So I'd be getting 40 Saprolings each turn, which is really overpowered, but really awesome too. I was going to mention my sideboard, but I'm not. I also have 25 green lands in here. This is a really basic deck. Probably not the best thing to learn with, but it's a lot of fun to play. Definitely don't try to use it in a serious competition. Just play it for fun. That's what I've been doing. I probably put way too much money in it, but it's definitely a good deck if you're just hanging out with friends. Alright, well, you guys have a nice day, and make sure you subscribe, and peace out.